Well, it's day 4 here in North Dakota, and I have put on a lot of miles. Been hunting a couple of wildlife management areas, and have not been seeing deer, I guess, to put it bluntly. I talked to quite a few other hunters that are also hunting. These are large areas, and there's quite a few people hunting them. There's just a general tone of discouragement. This blue tongue, or EHD, has hit this area a whole lot harder than any of us realized, I think. And everybody says they're finding dead deer. I found dead deer, whitetails, and I did find a dead muley buck on this property here that I'm staying on. This is 3,500 acres about, of a friend of a relative, or a relative of a friend, I guess. And I have walked a lot of miles up and down through these coulees and in areas that mostly don't look like whitetail habitat. This friend of mine has seen quite a few whitetails on this property, but most of the areas that I've walked through, I really don't see any whitetail sign at all. I'm not seeing scrapes and rubs. There's places where I feel like I'm on the wrong planet at times, but it's beautiful country. It's pretty cool to stomp up and down these coulees, and it's pretty fun, different than most of what I'm used to hunting for whitetails. But on these public lands, I'm pretty much about to give up on them. And I try not to bore you with too much dialogue here, but I'll roll a bunch of video as I explain what's going on here to help you see it and visualize it. I had 5 cameras out on public land, and I got a total of 1 shooter buck on camera in 4 days, and that was at midnight. I'm just going to pull everything out of the woods here. What I did discover is that in these bottoms, there's a couple places where there's really beautiful lush alfalfa, and the deer have it's like a magnet. There's one field where I've seen 40 to 50 deer, including some pretty decent bucks in this one field, and then there's a couple other fields that have quite a few deer in them. There's primarily 2 landowners who own the property down in this river bottom, and I knocked on the doors of the one a couple times trying to catch somebody home, was not able to. The other one, I happened to see him out in the field applying anhydrous ammonia, so I ended up cornering him, I guess, and talking to him, and he was really cool. Older guy that has lived here all his life and really knows the deer. He pulled out his phone and started showing me some pictures of big bucks he'd shot, and then his hired man pulled up, and he was talking about how bad the disease has been and how much it's wiped him out. And the guys, they basically said they think they've lost half their deer in the last 2 months. And his hired man actually was on his way down to walk the riverbank and look at trails and try to find dead bucks, because he said they had a couple of large deer that have gone AWOL, and a couple of 160 class bucks that they've been watching that they can't find now. And there's just a general tone of discouragement around here. And even though there's a lot of deer in these fields, they basically are saying, we've lost a lot of our deer, and we just don't think we should probably allow anyone else to hunt at this time. So if it wasn't under these circumstances, I think he might have actually allowed me to hunt his property. He's a really nice guy, and we ended up standing there talking for half an hour. So on each of these hunts, there are times, actually there's 3 ways these hunts end. Either you shoot a buck and put your tag on it, or you run out of time, or you get to the point where you just kind of sense that it's just time to move on. And that's where I'm at right now. Obviously this is just it's pretty much a lost cause, or it's a long shot, I guess I'd say anyway. So I'm going to take the day to do some soul searching here. I'm only about 45 minutes from a couple places that I've always wanted to go to. They're old fur trading posts on the mouth of the Yellowstone River, Fort Union and Fort Buford, and I'm a history buff, I guess, of the mountain man and fur trade and Lewis and Clark, and read a ton of books on that type of thing, and I've always wanted to go visit these forts. And so they're pretty close, so I'm going to spend the day driving up there and looking at these historical sites and just trying to think about what to do next. If, do I just go home? It's supposed to get down in the teens tonight, so I got to do something with this trailer. I won't be able to keep the water from freezing up underneath the trailer, and so I might just drive south. Man, I've done 30 some of these deer hunts away from home, and normally if something like this happens, I just go somewhere else. There's a place in Wisconsin I'm thinking of right now. There's a place I've hunted in Missouri quite a bit that I haven't been back to for a few years. A couple of years ago I hunted in Nebraska and always kind of want to get back there. I don't have the passion for this that I did when I was younger, and I hate to admit that. Some of you are going to hate hearing me say that, but honestly, it's hard work, and I got a 62-year-old knee that's getting to be quite a complainer. I'm just not sure if I can just make myself go home the first week in November, but that might be what I'll end up doing. So anyway, thanks for tagging along on this vlog, and there might be another one, there might not, but sorry to bore you with all this dialogue. I hope you understand, and it's time to move on, so we'll see where this goes. Thanks for joining me.